For all the glad-handing, platitudes, smiles and Diplo speak you saw at the top of the programme there from Washington, the scene from Florida could not highlight in starker terms the divergent worldviews of former human rights lawyer turned Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and US President Donald Trump. 3 years ago, the self-proclaimed misogynist and controversial online influencer Andrew Tate and his brother were arrested in Romania and they face a number of both civic and criminal cases for allegations of rape, trafficking minors and money laundering, all of which they deny. Now, up until now, the Romanians have not let them leave the country. Then all of a sudden, that changed. And this morning, they're on a private jet on their way over to Florida. They landed just over an hour ago. This is what they had to say.
This is a democratic society. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, as my brother and I are. And I think it's extremely important that we stop allowing media spin, wrap-up smears, lies, or carefully constructed narratives from George Soros-funded operations trying to destroy the reputations of good people who have no intention to do anything other than follow the law.
I should just say that mention there of George Soros, the billionaire philanthropist names, who's often invoked by members of the far right, has been at the heart of multiple conspiracy theories.
So why the change of heart from the Romanians?
Yeah, well, the answer to that may also lie in Washington. So just over a week ago, it was reported that representatives of Donald Trump's administration were pressuring Romania to lift the travel ban. Now, neither the US or Romania have commented on that. In the last couple of minutes, actually, in the Oval Office there, Sir Keir Starmer said he'd look into it. Donald Trump said he didn't know anything about it. But lo and behold, their first port of call on the travel ban being lifted was the US. Now, I caught up with the Secretary of State for Innovation and Science this morning, so Peter Kyle. The first thing I asked him was, Andrew Tate and his influence, is that a threat?
We think that Andrew Tate is not a force for good in the world, and if there are criminal charges that are outstanding against him, then we need to make sure that there is a way for him to be, for those victims to have their voice heard. But for those people who are alleged to have committed crimes, then those victims must be put first and foremost, and their voices must be heard.
You may think it's a threat, but Donald Trump intervened and pressed the Romanians to allow him to travel to the US.
I don't know the details of what has happened, but as I say, we in this country, but particularly the Prime Minister, who has introduced legislation to protect victims, cares very, very deeply about those people who might allegedly be victims. Their voices are very, very important, and in situations like this, they must be listened to, as well as the voices of those people who are accused of committing crimes.
We may not know the exact details of his flight, but when it comes to the likes of Andrew Tate, you clearly have wildly different views on him to the President of the United States, who we're currently trying to negotiate trade deals with and how we tackle AI. You are nowhere near in line with the President of the United States, are you?
I have different views from every single person I meet every day, because we're all individuals. Different countries have different priorities. The Prime Minister is out there in America putting Britain's national interests first, as is the President of the United States. But that doesn't mean that we can't find points of agreement.